#1 seed. Yeah, Wolves have done really well to get this far, but today it's going to be a very difficult task.
For Wolves, anything past here is going to be history made by them. They could be so proud already of fighting their way out of the Swiss stage.
Both these teams coming into this one are going to be
Alo,
spamming the maps you'd expect from
alo, đây rồi.
RRQ. This will be their first time playing with those Teo nerfs.
RRQ,
And they did play
Remove
native
Esports.
Teo on all 3 maps we'll see today. They were previously playing one of those comps.
As we can see from the Omen map select, Ascent will be first.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm with Mimi on this one. I expected the Haven, expected the split. Wolves is following up on something that they didn't like, and RRQ go straight into a map that not only they've picked in the past, but also one that Wolves were not very happy to play also in the Swiss stage. So no surprises here, but as Mimi you're saying, especially thinking of this Ascent, of this first map, how is RRQ going to look without the Tejo? Are they going to be the first ones to even play the Tejo? And even better than that, deadlock on the other side. I'm such a loser for deadlock.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Wolves comp. They looked great at the time they played it in the Swiss stage. I think the defensive utility, the variety of setups you can have is just so strong with that deadlock cipher. But for the side of RRQ, they do have a lot of choices. You could pivot to a double initiator look. You could pivot to a double senti look as well. There's a lot of options, and that does mean that for Wolves, you have no idea what you're going into towards the agent select here.
Yeah, on the focus of Tejo as well, of course, they don't just have that one person playing Tejo all the way through stage 1. Yeah. On this map of Ascent, Crazy Guy is the person we're looking at if he were to flex off of it. Like you said, the Sova is a real option, the Fade is a real option. And I think this is going to be hard, you know, for the side of Wolves and Fade to prepare against.
The good thing is that going into Ascent, it is a map that Wolves have shown already they can expect that double Sentinels. I will say that having all the setups, everything that can change with the deadlock, I think is going to be a challenge. But they had all the extra time in the world.
I will say, I think if you're a Teo meta team, Ascent is going to be one of the harder maps to pivot out of. If you look at something like Split or Lotus, it's really easy to just like 1-for-1 a Fade into your comp, and it works perfectly fine. I would expect maybe a little bit of a bigger change coming into something like Ascent, but with the map changes, with the agent changes, you do have a lot of choice. So just super interested to see what RRQ's read is.
Would you be down for a double duelist?
No.
No? Okay, why?
I feel like double senti comps indexing into defensive side is way better generally on this map in my opinion, because it's already such a defensive-sided map. You want to be maximizing rounds you can win there, which is why I love these double senti looks.
I mean, they also have the option to just go back to the box standard stuff that you can run on Ascent.
Yeah, that's the thing about Ascent. Even if you remove the Tejo, the map has been in for such a long time and has a very standard way of playing it that worst case scenario, worst comes to worst, there is at least one composition that you have to be comfortable with.
Yeah, Jemkin played a ton of Yoru in Pacific, but I'm really hyped to see him on the jet to start off Ascent here.
I can't wait to get into this game as well. And I'm hoping that the casters are ready because they have been a part of some of the biggest moments here in Masters Toronto. I am confident they're about to deliver one more banger on the mic for one final match. It's Uber and Wyatt.
Thank you, Yinsu. Couldn't ask for much more than this, folks. The wait is over. Finally, we see our #1 seed from the Pacific region take to the stage, led by superstar Jemkin. This guy really just needs to show us what he's done online to cement himself as, I don't know, a top 3 player right now.
One of the most hyped up debuts we have ever had. Was the leader in every statistical category throughout Pacific
ACS,
Stage
KD,
1.
ADR, KPR, first kills, you name it.
All of it. Up against the Wolves team that were written off before this tournament had even began. Defied community expectations. In Juicy's words, defied their own expectations. Sufat saying that he fears nothing, not even elimination. They've made it this far. And now how far can they even push it from here?
And we talked about how Juicy ascended with that Bleed team. It was against Jemkin's Scars team back in 2023. Crazy Guy was on that roster with Juicy. And of course, Juicy was too young to play at the top level. And Crazy Guy had to find his own way back through challenges as well. And they meet here. Crazy Guy had to find his own way back through challenges as well.
really blowing them out 13-5. Starting on the attack side where, despite running double Senti, that was where they were racking up the majority of the rounds. They went on a serious run.
RRQ had a 67% attack side win rate on Ascent. It's crazy to me that Wolves have picked this map against them. Utter confidence from them. Jemkin, not the way he was looking to start on the international stage. Sufat's arguably more acclimated. And confidently, he's taken that mid control.
Pop flash from to the same side.
Hay quá anh cùng các anh ơi.
Spike down A.
Talk about stopping power. Crazy guy hits him like
Em lag quá.
power. Crazy guy hits him like a Mac. It springs out there from Gem. Why are you able to deliver? Allows Juicy to move right on up.
Vừa so kìa.
Clear that dart. YU was revealed. Shot dart could account for him here, and bam! That's a connection from Cushy. Drops down for a second. The Wolves will get the start they hope for on the attack side. Oh, buddy.
Already feeling excited. This Wolves team have been energetic. They said they want to keep that underdog mentality that has gotten them this far, continue to play loose, confident, and just having fun. It looks like they've been enjoying themselves this whole time. Sufa has been out of his seat constantly. Frankly, individually, has been one of the players stepping up the most too, while being the IGL.
He's issuing a challenge specifically to Jemkin there. And that encounter favored Wolves in mid. This is a change for RRQ. In the past, we've obviously seen him with the Yoru compositions here. It's definitely Jemkin's most fearsome agent, but no slouch on the Jet either.
This is the first time that we're seeing RRQ forced to stray away from the Taeho meta. In the run that they were on in Pacific, they were simply the best team with that Taeho meta style. They weren't reinventing the wheel, they were just the best with the current best agents. Forced to pivot away now, obviously, like the other teams who were very reliant on it, G2, Sen, for example. And we'll see if they can have that same prowess as a team, as a unit. Now going back to the vintage comp, the Ascent Classic.
RRQ, they spent some util early to get Xfero set up in mid, but he will be cleared by that Aldro now. Contact from B-main. Xfero has to tuck here in logs. Affected as well by that, crap. Net, but YU's able to deal with him. Even through that Cyber Cage, and on to the site we go. Switcher taking control. Now that push-up Speedway is going to reveal Jemkin tucked in the corner. Okay, something's brewing. Spring able to deal with Monyet, and it's on Crazy Guy. Nothing but a classic fragment. And has himself a flash to work with, but Spring has the better weapon. A little shaky there for Wolves, but they do complete the anti-eco.
RRQ will definitely be content with the damage that they were able to deal there off that gamble stack towards the B side. Unfortunately, no real hope for Crazy Guy at the end. Can't get anywhere to recover a rifle, just a classic pushing in versus the two. A little unfortunate for him.
Down B.
Players on site.
Enemy remaining.
Fine job dealing some damage, keeping this bonus round buy for Wolves a bit lower than intended.
Here come RRQ now with their first buy of the series. Revealed briefly as they try and make their way up to Covey.
Recon sent out just to clear back Wine.
There's an encounter brewing here, Jemkin and Juicy. Oh, buddy, that is clean as a whistle.
And it's moments like that to give you an idea as to how Jemkin was able to rack up 137 first kills, far and away the leader in that category.
Yep, number two in first kills in Pacific was 85.
Crucial kill on the opposite side of the map, gets the neural theft off as well. They may just want to accelerate into this site. It's only Xfero to anchor in the back. They can overwhelm him with numbers.
He's in an awkward spot, caught in the trap. Pulling it off him. Clearly not ready for that burst of pace from Wolves. That's going to crack the B side open. Might get forced off to the right. Spring tries to hold him in places. Paranoia comes in.
Spring not going to overplay his hand either, just stay alive, be a presence in market that will eventually need to be dealt with. Jemkin wants to do just that, isolate this door, it's tucked to the corner, shot in the back,
massively exposed. Where was the trade? RRQ was set up there on North defense side spawned adequately. And Jemkin shows his back to why he was more than happy to capitalize. He's at 8-2 after 3 rounds.
Those post-plant repositions from Wolves were simply lovely. I love that Spring, despite not being able to collect that initial kill towards spawn, does just back off, be a nuisance that needed to be dealt with, and then YU is able to get up on lane, use him as a piece of bait to just get that free kill in the side, and then the swings come from stairs. Those retaking players overwhelmed, bonus round converted.
Our narrative for this Wolves team coming into this event was one of volatility, one of unexpected play. But John QT in a press conference says after all the Chinese team Sentinels played, Wolves were by far the most structured and disciplined that they'd encountered.
And that statement really does justice to the improvements that Wolves have made since we last saw them. A run to qualifying for the event, coming in as that 3rd seed. Slowing things down now on this anti-eco. YU would love to take some B-main control again. Camera broken. Continuing to apply a bit of pressure. So K-Crash going all the way up towards mid and a dark cover towards market. So Wolves, you can see that they're trying to feign some presence toward mid, and it's drawing rotates away from RRQ. They're now getting into this site completely for free. Monget was somewhat positioned to try and maybe go for a kill, but now forced onto the retake. Bad weapons are RRQ.
It's easy to force those over-rotates on rounds like this, Wyatt, where the defenders are desperate to try and set up a favorable stack. It doesn't take too much to tempt them to move across the map. Wolves, again, an excellent job in the early rounds. We've seen this over their games so far of clearing that util, the push and pull, trying to outmaneuver the defenders. RRQ have gotten into the side at least. Pushing in that Gen direction now. Jemkin already out of the picture, and Juicy from hell is going to alert like Cerberus. That will be cleaned up pretty comfortably. 4 rounds to the favor of Wolves here. RRQ yet to show us anything really worth hanging your hat on.
I feel like so far you can't help but draw comparison to the match that we saw yesterday with the XLG debut. Missing out on being able to play in the Swiss stage, getting multiple games of practice in. Wolves heating up throughout, the players getting comfortable on the stage, getting their confidence on the stage. And you have this debuting team with massive expectations coming in as the 1st seed from their region, fresh to this environment. It can be dangerous. They can come in needing to warm up.
I mean, Kaplan got asked about this. He's like, would you rather have been top seed from your region, start in the playoffs, or play through groups? And he says, I just refuse to give in to this idea that it's better to, you know, be a lower seed, because you have a lot more time. In a meta that has just changed, you have an extra week or so to see how things are boiling out, get that scrim experience, get that practice, and be boned up on the current metagame before you touch down, as opposed to having to take the risk of maybe you're not ready, maybe you have the wrong take on the game, or maybe you're just not, you know, in form on that day and it ends up losing your entire tournament. RRQ had that time to prepare, to watch. And yet being in the game is a different thing entirely. Wolves are hitting them quicker than they can react.
Wolves speaking too about wanting to up the tempo, the pace as the tournament has gone on. Now, out of this timeout though, for RRQ, I was hoping to see them pick up an operator. That's Jemkin, the Jet with that weapon in his hands, taking a peek from Catwalk.
Crazy guy,
down tiles.
Where
Perhaps YU would give him an opportunity, but on these rounds, Cypher has been more content just trying to work B main solo.
Spring is entrenched here in this wine position, whereas the rest of Wolves are maybe going to rattle the cage here at B, hoping for a push-up from the defenders, but RRQ have not conditioned that behavior yet.
Wolves do have any intention here of going towards mid. Oh, wow, engagement on. Yeah, just isolates Spring.
There was a 0 point that revealed the Omen stuck in the corner. There was no escape for him, no paranoia either.
It's a critical first kill. RRQ weren't able to convert on the last round where they had a first kill, but they're going to need to do it here with this maxed out investment they have into the round.
Juicy sees it all here on the B side, opts to stick it and fight inside of it. Because he wants to push up and get the drop on him, and eventually the double face from RRQ will derail things. A second Lysol picked
Hay
up.
quá.
Jenkins off. Finally starts to
Tốt.
sing. And here's the RRQ we've all been told about.
Wolves getting very disconnected on that B side, execute, and lacking Spring. The players from RRQ just take easy engagements, swinging from spawn together. There's no dark cover for that obvious angle.
Ăn được thằng smoke là
So
ngon rồi
Juicy
á.
is just relegated to fighting an incredibly difficult 1 versus 2 on site while the rest of the players are bogged down in the choke. Really would have required some serious heroics from Juicy to be able to pull that out.
I must wait a moment.
Better look there for RRQ, get the full buy they were hoping for, and they employ it effectively. Crazy Guy's been doing that. Early thrusts onto Catwalk with a classic in his hands.
Cover going out.
On this round, Jimkin has
Cái luật là Crazy Guy cầm
towards A
in.
main, has an idea that there could be someone going for the jump up. Just angle. Timing is brutal.
Spring in these early encounters has been so impactful. Against
Hay.
the star player of the opponent, he had seconds number on that split
Mon
round as
Mon
well.
Mon rất là ao im luôn mà.
Listen, Mondet has serious confidence.
Hay quá,
RRQ
Cusi
have
ơi.
taken full control of B main with 2 players. Wolves want to get into the
Đây, có Big
site
Pharaoh
now,
làm sao mà đỡ
finding
được.
the smokes, taking the opportunities they can, swoop back, getting pressure.
Bad dangerous.
Xuyên.
Oh, we got it.
Ổn.
Can't be upset about
Down
that.
B.
Lysol though, this is a little belated.
Cái mà thằng
RRQ
B-main rồi
hear the
về smoke lại
annihilation
hả?
coming. They basically clear the area. There's a catch on Kushi. That would be quite something. He does show
Hay quá,
himself.
Monjet ơi.
Monjet though has his line. Juicy swings into more players than he
Ô,
expects.
cô
and
Mai.
Crazy Guy ready to lock it down on the big side.
A respect
Cô
to
Mai với cậu
Mondet
Odin.
for the confidence of taking that fight in B main to trade out for Jemkin, who did get a little bit unlucky, but was exposing himself to multiple angles, so taking some
enemy
amount
remaining.
of risk there. But then RRQ, the really pivotal moment for me, the great decision was to get both of their B anchors into B main, recognizing the split was coming through, so they want to isolate a fight in main. They're able to do so, find the kill there. By the time the split is actually coming in, they could have just escaped, go play around the spike. That was really well done. Wolves, economy cracks,
Lấy áp dao.
now on the eco. Opportunity for
Trên nắp của
RRQ
B,
to
nắp
build
B,
their
nắp
own.
B-main mà.
And the players are already at that 5K mark.
Once again, it's that same wander up Catwalk by Juicy. But he might look to ask for more.
Rồi
It's
xong.
unfortunate, Crazy Guy.
Bỏ cho cô Mai.
Pockets the owner. An inopportune
Hay,
move.
Cusi ơi.
He doubles down. That is ferocious.
Going out.
From spawn, Hunter's Fury yields 2
Hay.
kills. And RRQ have absolutely stabilized this round after losing Crazy Guy early.
1 enemy remaining.
Hay luôn.
Stunning. All last 2 players inevitably going to get cleaned up here. Spring stuck in main. That was a pretty sick util combo from Wolves to get the initial kill on Crazy Guy. And Kushi recovers it with a beautiful Hunter's Fury. There's that Gravnet pop
Em-
flash with the Yoru. It's pretty cool, but
Em chói ném phát.
for not no
Ăn được Crazy Guy, nhưng mà
economic
Cusi-
damage done to RRQ here.
Ulti ăn lại 2.
That
Ôi, quá
zero-point
đẹp.
timing for Crazy Guy is going to be pretty important.
Tờ 3 mà rõ.
Worried about facing
Rồi.
down at util. Spring gets a little bit more than we all bargained for there. But it's still a 3rd round in a row for RRQ. They have been awoken.
Spring will take it. I will say, obviously what we've seen from Spring so far in this tournament,
Vậy chạy.
incredible aim, willingness to take a ton of duels. We've had a couple
Hay.
situations now where his play towards B main has overextended himself and he's left his team without smokes when they're going for these executes. It's been awkward. That's happened on 2 buy rounds
Đây là
now,
timeout
where
cho
Monjet is
Wolf
just
Esports.
feeling that equal level of confidence to engage with him. So I'm going to need Spring to pick his spots, be less susceptible to an early death when he's supposed to be inserted in main, just control that area of the map.
Coach Fade here, someone worth crediting for the more up-tempo style we've seen from this Wolves team, but a lot of different players and teams have sort of said, with this change in metagame, we can be more individual-centric. We can play with that faster pace. Think about Teo, it wasn't just the missiles that were so powerful, it was that stealth drone. Really hard to kill, they have a lot of information, and really hard to take your opponents off guard when they were constantly scouting you via that measure. Now, though, this move back, we got a very traditional comp here for RRQ. Not even a Yoru in the mix. In theory, this is a setup designed to allow someone like Jemkin to shine. On defense, he's on the jet. Only had the one round with the op and was able to convert its use pretty effectively, but outside of that, yet to quite take over the game.
Does have the op again, this time posted up mid, has been switching things up round by round, but the dark cover will not allow him to get any free shots as Wolves want to silently work their way forward. Drone is going to be used just in case he is posted up by mid, which obviously we know is the case.
Jemkin spotted here. It's a little bit difficult to play into that Al drone. He does allow himself to get pinged out. This will give some of that mid space now over to Wolves, and they choose to canvas it with this deadlock util unless there's a push in their direction.
So we're going to bring one sonic sensor back, and the deadlock will thrive with the utility after you've taken the site, get the spike down. You really don't want to allow Wolves to set up for a post plant. It gets so frustrating to get back in.
The barrier mesh is so
break
powerful.
Break that barrier mesh, the delay that causes. You don't want to run into the sonic sensors in chaotic moments trying to get back in.
Back soon.
There was a 0-point timing there from RRQ to B main. It sees nothing.
Here.
Of course, the spawning is going to have to be smoked off. Likely Jemkin is there, and he is split coming into sight. Monjet is fully committed right now on the stairs. Juicy wants to take the action to him.
Minus Fury time now. Siufat's going to let that one rip, but there's actually no one on the B side itself. All of RRQ are basically playing off of it in their entirety. Brought down.
Tough to raise Monjet, who teleported away to safety, is actually able to bring Crazy Guy back up. 12 seconds. Spike needs to be planted right now. Still isn't being tapped finally from Sufat. RRQ ready to go for this man advantage. Retake pop flash over the top. Jemkin has the Blade Storm out. Ready to get active, ready to create space.
Gonna go on with the Al drone as well. That sees nothing on Speedway. Jemkin needs to deal with these entrenched anchor players. But Juicy handles him. Monjet's starting to make some progress here, but Xferro and Crazy Guy are dealt with on the B side. Now it's just a Speedway presence for RRQ. Monjet and Cushy. First three, and they are cut down mercilessly. RRQ are the ones with a 67% attack side win rate on this map. They're the ones that flip the map, but Wolves are showing they can do it just as well.
Why are you coming up really juicy?
Right there from
Jemkin. He had the crosshair placed where it needed to be. The reaction from one of the best duelists we've had performing in this tournament so far in Juicy was way too sick. Cleans up a couple more after the fact. Wolves out of the timeout, get the round win. That is something we've seen many times when Coach Fate gets in the mix.
Good call from Monjet there to make the TP up. Revealed inside that grav net. It would have been curtains for him quickly. Jemkin needs this. Good start for the team. YU's head is gripped clean off.
Certainly has no lack of confidence, Jemkin, even after the disaster of last round on the retake. He will not slow down. He's not going to ease up. Wolves now on the pivot towards B main. Cushy has been playing very close on a lot of these rounds. He is jiggle peeking, does get the info. Drone, tag onto Sufat.
He will walk it away. On the 1 minute mark of the round, Jemkin still sat here in Covey.
Sufat droning up mid, hoping that that will draw some attention, get some information if someone is pushed down. Not the case. Dimensional drift and another 4 versus 5. We've seen this story before. It didn't work out on the prior. Juicy committing to the site, tripwire. Dangerously close.
Oh, they know he's coming. Grafnet, yeah, sure, gets used over towards Boathouse, but RRQ can recover.
30 seconds
There's
left.
a TP forward. You saw that from Spring, right at the edge of that smoke. Watched by 2, but his wrap angle is not covered adequately by Juicy. Xferro has to deal with it himself. Here comes a second wave now of retakers. Still no plan.
Monjet does have a paranoia to get back in. That's a significant piece of utility for RRQ. Both dark covers used. Jemkin wants to get in here. Exchanges, gets the rifle, throws the op to Monjet.
Paranoia, Spring sees it coming and still can't stop Crazy Guy. Sufat, those Crazy Guy is low, and it's on Monjet. Oh, just swings the right, but Sufat unaware. Try to recon to light, it's one up Sufat. That keeps the Wolves train running. What a Red Bull clutch. All comers from all angles, all too easy. for Sufat.
He simply does it all for this team. We've seen him clutch. We've seen him top the boards in terms of kills in these games. He's IGLing, he's hyping them up. He's talking trash, he's questioning, what the hell are these guys doing? How are they letting me get away with that? RRQ forced onto an eco. Just a hero rifle for Jemkin.
And honestly, this scoreline is a disastrous tale for RRQ. On Ascent defense. Reminiscent of their same struggles against Genji on this very map. Jemkin is cut down to 5 in the first encounter.
Cushy even down to 28 off the spam. I'm sure Jemkin would love to throw that rifle over to a healthier player on the squad. B-main control going to be acquired from Wolves on account of this drone. Now they want to push towards A as well. Monyet has been a menace in this area of the map. He's gotten some crucial kills, but with just the classic, you can't expect him to do that.
This could be ugly. Our drone re-clear of B main. Seems to allow Jemkin to post up a bit further forward and ask for more. Sufat eventually picking out there, so does not want to linger.
Vào A rồi.
Seeing the Sova there will certainly keep RRQ's attention towards B main, but now the execute is coming through A. Barrier mesh recon going over the top. It's just a close-up recon dealt with by Juicy.
And he's in the side. Safe to say, Wolves have again achieved their objective. Very structured in the early to mid round. Clearing that util, working the map. See, Sufat never overextended on the B side, and now he's assist. The late flank. And it's unlikely rather that he will be needed. Cushy was brought to 28 health by the spam at the start of the round, and he has seen no action since.
Wolves have been able to really frequently cycle back into these ultimates. Sufat one away from the Hunters. Fury, Lysor on the verge of that annihilation as well. We get to the second last round of the half. Again, it is just, it's careful, it's patient from Wolves. They work the map, keep attention on B. Eventually when someone pushes out of main, Sufat is still covering that angle, finds a free isolated kill. The team are able to get into a very lightly held A site. This is excellent stuff from Wolves. And it is very reminiscent of their attack side against Billy with this comp. They found so much success there. And we started feeling a little bit worried on the side swap because they didn't actually really pop off on defense where you expect them to when they have Deadlock, Cypher, Yoru, and we're getting an off online. It's where this comp thrive.
One enemy remaining.
And as RRQ team are struggling to deal with the pace of Wolves. Wolves are not splitting the map, they're not splitting these sites. They're actually just pushing straight through B main or A main, as was the case there. It's hard for them to get early action, the defenders, or catch any crosses.
We've seen Spring play this angle before.
That didn't work last time.
Jemkin Mon. So they want to clear. One-way cage being popped. B main controlled by Wolves. There's the annihilation for Lysor.
Again, we know Wolves like to make use of all that round time. And Spring is rewarded for his patience. Monyet just trundles up to check that A main. He's not ready for the angle. We probably won't see it again, but this time it works.
He's taken timings in main before and they worked out, but haphazard in that situation to just extend himself in there. Spring in a cheeky off angle. This site is absolutely free for the taking. Here come Wolves. Annihilation pop, just in case someone is there, they would at the very least be on the run. YU, can he be caught?
He's well tucked. Xfero's knock it. Oh, round it off in his hands. Oh, Jemkin at least
30 seconds.
can get involved. But RRQ are down to 3 now. Need to work their way in from upper. It's a fragment and then it's a grab net. Cushy caught in place.
Do they dare go for this 3-4? Look at the state of their economy. Sufat still with the Hunter's Fury. He got that up from planting the spike. I'm really in a great position to use it, however. Spam on the crazy guy. Cushy's weak as well.
He's in on this side. Nice recon bolt there from Cushy. But they are going to walk away here. 3-gun savers. The risk is far too great this late in the half.
The time has completely dwindled. They're just simply relying on the final round of this half to get to only 4 on Ascent defense. They have ultimates to contend with here. Real danger of a one-sided blowout half for Wolves.
Is that my boy Lysor on his feet?
Oh, Lysor can't wait to just stand up and look at the other team.
Is that guy at the end of
No arm movement, just simply standing up.
It's like the guy at the end of the flight who knows he's not getting out of the plane for a while but wants to stand up in the aisle still. Like, oh, I gotta stretch my legs, sorry. I hate that guy.
RRQ investing everything they can. They've got Guardian for X-Pharaoh. Wolves have done such a great job working the map, exploiting some over pushes from RRQ to get info. Jemkin wants to fight this in main. He has one yet with him. Grabnet comes down. Paranoia should get some big value.
Almost managed for that timing. 10 kills, position forward in play. And then he dines on the attackers. Sufat at least able to punish him for it, but I mean, 3 kills. It's more than enough for RRQ to relieve the pressure of this round 12 that could have set them to 3-9.
That time just giving Mon yet a friend to help him in A main. A very simple trap setup, but incredibly effective as the Paranoia catches multiple players, isolates a second duel. When that re-swing comes in from Spring. Now listen, if there were a couple players that I would trust to maybe come up in the clutch here, it would definitely be Sufat and YU right now. It's not out of the question. It's going to be incredibly difficult.
Sufat's definitely lost the element of surprise here and been revealed by that neural theft. Known to RRQ as lingering near A main.
30 seconds left.
Instead, he'll try and find yet another opportunity. There's obviously neural theft here for YU. Should there be an appropriate corpse?
The recon goes into market, but won't really help. There's still a triple mid. Oh, X-Pharaoh.
Spike down A.
He knew what was afoot. He knew what was coming.
And there's just no time left for Sufat. Pinged out as well. 12 seconds. This round is absolutely done. So RRQ, at the very least, managed to get themselves to 4 before we move on to the second half. But this was all about Wolves. Sufat with that phenomenal clutch. Juicy finding the moments as well. Everybody was really getting involved there. Excellent start for the team that always remained the underdog.
Farming aura, farming kills. Can they find themselves in a winning position on Ascent? It's a great start for Wolves. We'll be back with more from our first map of the series right after this.
If you want to be good, do what they say you should. But if you want to be great, you innovate.
Coming back to you at halftime here on Ascent between RRQ and Wolves. And not exactly the start that RRQ were looking for, but against Gen G and Pacific, they only got 3 defense side rounds, still won the map, so fear not if you're an RRQ fan. Here's your Coinbase Econ report. Looking across, it's pretty clear to see that Spring is an outlier with a great showing. Monyet also, just a very efficient river. This Econ rating is a measure of how much damage you're able to get per credit spent. RRQ on quite a few ecos. Monyet still able to find some success there, but not enough to give them more than 4 defense side rounds, Wyatt.
We'll see if Jemkin can pick things up in regard to the cash to damage ratio on this attack side, was investing in the operator a lot. Occasional value, but not enough to completely justify the investment that they were making into it over and over for a period of time. Let's see if RRQ can start off hot on this attack side, get things rolling.
A 67% attack round win rate for RRQ in Pacific. They really flipped the map out there. It's bizarre to watch, but a ton of fun. How they warmed up. Missing the group stage. They do look a little bit shaky. Their stars are not firing outside of a couple of isolated occasions in the first half.
Now you're getting the information on main. Hit about to come in from RRQ. There's the dash in from Jemkin. Wants to get to switch. Door going to be closed. YU is the first engagement.
YU's been on a heater this game. There's no other way to put it. And he's going to continue, apparently. Crazy guy. Hit right between the eyes. Monya is at least able to handle the Cypher. Cushy gives it a tap, but no stick. This is going to buy time for Lysor to group up here with Spring.
Lysor does have a grab net thrown out, but no connection. Monya on such low HP. At some point, they're going to have to get this spike down. Wolves are just going to bide their time until that moment actually comes in. No reason to rush.
Shock dart? Okay. Recon has just come back up for Cushy. That's probably the timing that they were waiting on. He's going to come up and attempt to plant. Lysor, Monya. Oh, gets off the line. Oh, that hurts. Monya had too much to look at and he'll be overwhelmed. Lysor. Lightning rod for criticism. Has his team behind him. Self-belief pumping. We got 3 players out of 6.
all on their feet.
We could have just gone standing desk and saved on budget, honestly.
YU wins a crucial first blood engagement against Jemkin. The rest of the team try to swing it together. Yeah, it does get down to this 2 versus 2 because somehow a very low HP Mon yet even things up with the trades, but it's just not enough. It left those last 2 players on such low health.
And it was the timing of Monyet just looking away off the direction of Speedway. Really just fate that dictated that, but man, that really hurts them there. And there's a sense of destiny about Wolves here to take a round like that. And they are going to continue this momentum they built in that first half. Defense side pistol 1. RRQ need to come up with something soon.
Can't imagine it's going to be on this round. It's just 5 classics. And again, I can't help but feel like we need to just harken back to yesterday with XLG making their debut in this same situation. Not playing well, coming into the game, tapping everybody down.
Will it blend? RRQ edition. The answer is yes. Crazy Guy straight into Spring's line of sight. Or rather Cushy. Crazy Guy himself now will have to try and salvage here, and really this is one of those situations with an astronomically low % chance of success. Cypher util up the wazoo here on this B site. Crazy Guy who had to spend a lot of time in tier 2 to sort of prove himself, but crazily experienced player.
He's been competing in TAC FPS games for over 10 years at this point. I remember him debuting as a Phenom substitute AWPer at a DreamHack tournament way back in 2015. Has had a redemption arc as of the last couple years. Qualified with Bleed.
Against Jemkin.
On that team against Jemkin. This game is pretty story-rich. The histories between these players, and then had those struggles with Bleed in that debut season in Pacific. Had to go back to challenges, work his way back into the VCT, joins up with RRQ, and that's when his team has gone on a run. Their best placement historically has been a 5th-6th, and then they win. They come in first. They beat Gen G and PaperX to do so. It's been an insane run for them, but now it's just a matter of holding their nerve on the stage when the pressure is raising further, when the consequences are higher, and the teams are showing out. This Wolves squad have come in just bringing everything they've got. Their players individually have been white hot all tournament long.
RRQ need to find a way to generate some momentum of their own. It's his buy round that really has to be the start of all that. As a pretty sizable grab. The temptation, of course, I understand. A lot of guns trained on that corner direction.
Play like that on a bonus round. If it connected onto Manya, that could have been a sick combo into multi-kill. They love this grab net pop flash play. Going to keep RRQ on their toes at any given time. That trap could be sprung. They pivoted all the way over towards this A side. Dark cover going to obscure the view from tree trips. Broken by Shock as well. Scaling now into the site. The Wolves, they want to commit, they want to anchor. White you lit up there. Perfect. Use of that recon util. Cushy gonna capitalize on his own application of the recon in the middle of the smoke spring eventually will be pacified. Not before he takes his pound of flesh out of the game. Somehow working his way through heaven, would love to accomplish getting at least a bit more damage, but it's
love one or two more guns, Wyatt. But Lysol with the Ghost definitely put in the least advantageous position.
That being said, a kill would get him closer to that annihilation.
We only really saw one of them from Lysol and just missed clipping a player over towards tiles in that first half. Again, Lysol a huge part of the engine room in terms of storm utility. Of course, that graph net play didn't quite go off the way they planned it. Lysol will bathe in the blast. And we'll get on with our lives. Round at number 16 coming at you. And RRQ, with their first buy, maintain 4 Vandals. Someone is B.
Okay, little turn. He just turned quick enough. Saved his team potential demise.
That kill there is big. I mean, Sufat obviously trying to intervene. Caught on that rotate attempt. How does Fury for Cushy here?
You have to keep your eyes on him in this round. Impressive to see him top fragging in this game as well. I mean, typically for this team, it is just Jemkin taking over at all times. The rest of the players sort of even statistical spread. There's some damage for Juicy Mon. Yeah, it brought very low. Lucky to be alive. Team almost lacking smokes. Kill was collected.
Okay, well, classic spring. Tries to jump out there, get a bit of a fight. Juicy great. Lysol here with only a Guardian to work with and completely caught by that Hunter's Fury. Xero just wants to bust the door down now. Quickly assume control of his A side as already the rotates coming in. Now, Sealfat has the Odin.
I know exactly where you are.
Will be revealed here now by that Cypher ult.
Going to keep Wolves at bay right now. Perhaps he's just going to opt to save. Sufat would love to get a tag with this drone and someone to spam down with the Odin, but
got Jemkin.
Not going to happen. Recon, they're going to try to scale in. Time dwindling a bit.
They don't have the money for this. To risk these weapons here, they're going to go for it. Sufat here is committed, clearly. In for a penny, in for a pound, he says. Got the player inside tree, it's Jemkin who's going to show some leg here and be a little quicker on the trigger finger to boot. RRQ are clambering desperately back into the map.
Couple good multiplayer faces at the end there, just to clean things up from main and back gen. Spring going for a questionably aggro play, swinging out there.
He presents himself, doesn't he?
The flash actually popped from Juicy, the timing just a little bit off. And then Juicy does find a moment to pop himself out of the smoke, but at that point, already down one. Things are getting traded out.
It is mistakes like that, that mistiming on the pop flash for Spring that are going to be punished by a team of RRQ's caliber.
100%. They are quality in terms of the fundamentals, trading things out effectively. Nothing crazy on that round, just a good A split. Wolves hoping to catch someone unaware in A main, but that won't be the case. And it seems like with Monya being near enough to hear that pressure coming, RRQ will be happy to just get into this B site, which they're going to imagine will be lighter on players, and they are absolutely correct. Going to get things for free. Opportunity to build towards a couple ultimates here. Crucially, Crazy Guy going to have the null command into the next. Has always been one of the highest value ults that you can get on this Ascent map with the age-old comp.
And the pattern that RRQ have made use of to their great success over in Pacific is really simple. It's Jemkin gets first kills. In their final series against Gen G, he was 26 for 12. First kills, first deaths.
Insane.
We mentioned like he has 137 of those in Pacific, and the next closest player is 85. It is an absurd outlier stat that RRQ always get Jemkin in position to succeed in these early rounds. Now, this example, of course, is against basically a full save, so I wouldn't write home about it, but that has been kind of the core of their play.
Sufat check?
That's, that did not go as he had planned.
Okay, he'll be on the Guardian.
I get that he doesn't want to get onto it, but maybe...
he was a little bit too far away to run into the spike explosion.
It's like the plot of I Am Legend. He's like the only guy left after the fallout. That's not where you want to be.
All right, Wolves are going to pick up the Operator. It is crucial to the success of this double Sentinel comp. You want to be able to use that off with your Yoru and have it route the attacking team into the sites that are specifically littered with a ton of that Sentinel utility. It's crucial for this machine to be working. Pop flash coming through, Jemkin on the swing, but Juicy gets out of dodge, posts up on a safer angle.
Jemkin is insistent. While he has that tailwind active about trying to take a fight, he has to tuck this corner.
Sufat tries to timing him walking back out. Here, just spamming with that Guardian. High bullet penetration, pop flash from Juicy wants to get out Recon as well to post up on the angle. I like this, but Jemkin might just timing him.
It's Jemkin's individual brilliance that's allowed him to succeed in these situations prior. Null command coming out. Crazy Guy instantly knocked. This time Spring on a much safer line. Deep on the A side, flattens the KO. Somewhat of a sell of this fake, I guess, as RRQ now turn their eyes over towards the B side of the map. There's going to be a player to Jemkin's immediate right. Crossing here could be dangerous. Spring dealt now with that KO properly. And in comes the Cocoon. Nice little catch off the Annihilation here, and Wolves aren't really in a great position to help Juicy out. And Jemkin got caught. Kochi pushes in a boathouse though. Up on numbers are RRQ. But YU and Spring, high school classmates, now have to put it together. 5 years of play together. They themselves have said they are on the same wavelength. Need to bail Wolves out here.
They were just a little bit too far away in the rotate, but they catch the first on Xpharaoh. Monyet is so weak. Real opportunity to clutch things out.
Revealed there, pinged out by the neural theft. Big opening made here by YU. Cushy trying to keep Wolves at bay, but they are coming, and they're going to taste for blood. Cushy's third of the round. What a flick from YU. Nobody knows where Cushy was. It doesn't matter. 4K for the Sova and RRQ again. Another giant step towards evening up this game. That attack side prowess for RRQ on full display.
Cushy is just putting on a clinic on the Sova right now. So dangerous to get into the site. Lysor was inevitably going to find someone with that Annihilation, playing defensively all the way in the back. But that still wasn't enough. Wolves were just too far away. The rotates coming from A were not there in time to assist. Sure, Lysor gets the one, but he is completely overwhelmed by the numbers of RRQ, and Xpharaoh gets a great moment to push towards spawn, get in the dark cover, catch out one of those Wolves players who felt like, I need to get in here to help Lysor ASAP. I need to try to flood in to assist. Get a timing right now, swing towards stairs, get a fight, but it just doesn't come, and Coach Fade now getting into that and second time out of the game.
Two things I'm looking for from the Wolves side of things is the early play from Spring. Much better on that last round. Took Crazy Guy down instantly, playing a much safer spot over on that A site. And can Wolves generate an early advantage off of this grab net flash combination? We've seen it once. It was against a, it was a bonus round for Wolves. They really need to throw what they can at Jemkin to stop him from getting rolling early. Those Jet first kills, no joke. We've talked about the stats already. It's a huge part of RRQ's run here. Jemkin has to be nullified entirely as a star player on this map.
It's going to be all sheriffs here for Wolves. The RRQ economy has been out of control. Push here towards main from Juicy. Xpharaoh with his Eyes on this location. We've just been seeing on these rounds, it is the story with RRQ. They're not reinventing the game. They are playing a style that we have seen, going for executes that we have seen a million times over with this composition, but they just do it so well.
They don't invent the wheel, Wyatt, they just grease it and turn it.
Working my way up top mid, double face into YU, who's able to stay alive for now.
Flash there just to keep him honest, to keep him further back from potential rotate. Crazy Guy was able to extract Sufat with consummate ease, but Juicy
Spike down.
does disrupt things a little bit. That was the spike loose, but already recovered by Jemkin. Why you look for a timing out of this spawn side. Jemkin went to hunt Juicy. And RRQ looking absolutely ruthless on this anti-eco round. Not giving a lot of opportunities here for Wolves to sort of double up, group up, spring! Okay.
You heard the drop down. I'm surprised Xfero just kept the util out. He made sound.
Something to work with. With that smoke thrown out, Wolves will be allowed access here to the site.
And that is a gun recovered for Spring. He picks up that Vandal. Lysor gets one as well. Real opportunity all of a sudden.
Jemkin hoping to take this first contact effectively in Speedway, and Spring, unarmored as he is, will be handled. Jemkin has 3 for the round, and Crazy Guy will end it. Now we've got ourselves a game, folks. 1 round stands between RRQ and Wolves' 10-round total.
On their debut, this RRQ squad, they have managed to hold their nerve, not succumb to the fact that they were down by such a significant margin that they lose the second half pistol. Being on the big stage hasn't gotten to them. They've completely rallied back into this game. They have so much economic pressure on Wolves. RRQ could buy every single round with ease. Juicy's going to pick up that operator again. Wasn't able to find success with it on the prior round. This time towards Cat, taking it towards Styles. Oh my God, Jemkin is in so fast right now. Controlling all the space, taking a lot of damage, and Sufat just catches him out. In the meantime, the spike is working its way up. Cat just hoping to get a fake into the site. Sonic sensor destroyed by that shot drop. They're trying to scale in.
What a timing for Lysor!
Spike down.
Shuts RRQ down instantly. Monget can bail them out. But this is still now gotten very, very dangerous and very much out of hand. Crazy Guy's just walking away. Monget does not have that opportunity. He is in the side. Gets the plant down. No one is hoping, praying the Crazy Guy can get there in time, but he's got a barrier in his way. He's got to break through this quickly.
He is able to do so. Has one flash to try to pop out of the smoke. Give some assistance to Monyad, who's stuck in hell.
Crazy Guy taking a little bit of damage here with his Dark Cover down to 5. It's getting dangerous, and there it is. YU knows exactly what the KO is. And here come Wolves back to winning ways, and doing so while maintaining some very expensive weaponry here. Odin, operator, still in hand for this team.
RRQ love to sell a fake, but this time it's not bought. Sufat with that initial spam kill. The players over on A didn't really need to rotate off. There was still a lot of utility from that deadlock to keep the players that were pivoting through tree at bay. That allows for some Wolves rotates to get there, but Lysor coming up with a huge 2K. Doesn't look insane on the scoreboard right now, but I think his best play actually has come from deadlock on Ascent. Versus the Omen on some of the other maps. Is fast from RRQ. They're getting right up into the main. They want to get into the site. A lot of tripwires to deal with. Jemkin over the top.
This time Sufat isn't here to spray anyone down to play off any of that side we do till it's YU in the site. Just can't complete any kills.
Had already made the adjustment, but he just didn't connect that headshot. Maybe if Sufat can somehow pick up one kill here, a spam kill, he'd have the Hunter Spirit, but first is the one from Kush. He doesn't get the initial connection. There's the tag. Can he capitalize? No. Sufat just out of the way, narrowly. Do they try to go for this right now?
Might be a tough one. Monget brought down. He was in B main. Spring is at least able to dig him out. So now there's not the risk of a backstab as Wolves try and hit the site.
They know they can just focus on the players here. Juicy wants to get down lane, peek from Xfero. He's undoing, but the shot goes wide.
Now though, RRQ being forced to play onto the side, but Jemkin is waiting for them. Fangs bared, blades out, ready to throw down. Deals with Sufat as well. Headshot off the knives. And there's no more time for Wolf to get in. Jemkin will pursue them. Blood in his eyes. Even so much that he take the clone down and perish to the blast. Back and forth now, RRQ keep it 1 round.
Late on this attack side, Jemkin slow to start. but finding his moments, finding serious impact on the game. That kill towards stairs with the Blade Storm was sick, onto Spring, and then with the Cloud drops. Sufat not ready for the engagement. It's picked off. RRQ are so close to tying this game up. Just one round away. Can Wolves close things out? Juicy still with this operator. He was able to get away with his life. He wants to post up in B main.
Hannes Fury as well for Wolves. Oh, they catch one yet. That's the controller out of the game.
In the meantime, what happened with Juicy? He tried to go for a peek in main. He was just holding the angle, but
just straight up died. Did he leg Xfero?
It looks like he, wall shot legged him something. Worked his way into the site.
This timing is quick.
There's no way.
Sufat,
The whip.
Xfero now needs to get busy on the site, but he knew his time was short after missing that engagement. B site is clear, but now it's handed over to A.
They feel like they just have to get in. RRQ, null command. Jemkin wants to make space. Crazy guy out of the open.
Awkward timing. Jemkin got pinged just as he jumped into that cloud burst. Lysol did fall. Kushi trying to get the res. He's trying to tease it. Spring looking for a timing. Crazy guy's back in the game. At least secures the trade. Kushi now 1v2.
He does bait him out. Gets the door down. Wants to take the duel, but Sufat wins the engagement. Kushi does a great job of isolating the remaining Wolves players. Making a believer out of me in the clutch potential, but he can't connect that last shot. What a prediction from Sufat. Does he run into hits him on the teleport? That was madness in main. Absolute madness. RRQ going to pivot right into a timeout. Time to calm things down after a very, very chaotic round.
Neither team actually has a strong economy to play this round. Wolves are going to try and end the map with a couple of half armors maybe mixed in here. Still fine for them, of course, after winning the previous one. And Jemkin has been the kind of player that's actually shone in post-plant anchoring situations for RRQ this map. So getting ahead of that stall util, that fast play into B has been one of the most effective tools that RRQ have been able to leverage to get these round wins. But they're running into an annihilation. A dimensional drift for Juicy is definitely on the table. He's 2 orbs away from developing that.
We get back into this. You mentioned the economy, but Wolves at the moment having to invest so much. They win that prior round, so if RRQ take this, the final round of this regular time would be a bad buy for Wolves. This is so important right now for the Pacific #1 seed. It's not their map pick, but it's at the top of their pool. They're making a serious go at running this back. The comeback feels so real. They're on the precipice. It's going to be towards a main 0 point, clearing things out.
Step 1 is play through the one-way. RRQ are happy to walk it, and there's no forward presence from Wolves to play off of it.
YU has moved his setup to this A side this time. Kill Trip Insight to play off. Cage to dance around when a hit comes in. Jemkin over the top gen.
She's going to clear hell now. Jemkin is on the side. YU gets flips. Oh, that's hurting for the defenders. Sufat gets involved. He's on that upper side. Eventually traded out. RRQ player advantage.
Juicy flash through, but dark cover down. Do they dare find a timing to try to just pop flash out of this when the spike is going down? Now Juicy began to rotate towards tree.
This spot for Xfero is so good. Juicy is not ready for it. And that shuts down any chance of a split flood for the defenders. Spring found Jemkin, just picked him off out of nowhere and long yet spray through the floorboards. Gets RRQ that round that could well be worth 2, that could send us into overtime.
Wolves perhaps feeling committed, or that they were just about to get flanked by Xfero, who just pick up Juicy towards tree, so they do swing out. They lose all of the weaponry. There's been some serious issues on these A hits with Wolves being able to deal with the recon darts. Multiple rounds on these executes. It's been YU getting lit up, picked off by Jemkin, who can't help but increase his first kill stats at every turn. This buy for Wolves is horrific. RRQ, this is the perfect opportunity to rally this game all the way back. They've held their nerve. They can take this to OT.
And it starts with a 3-player push into mid. Wolves only have the token presence of the trapwire here. Champions trying to figure out if he can get under it. I respect that. They had to clear it manually, and now this push through market is a belated approach for Xferia here, and B-Man and Juicy's definitely expecting him with the cyber cage up and on the side. Here come RRQ, Juicy's only got a short window, he's found two-dimensional drift, he's going to see it all, and crucially get out alive! Silfan locks it down on the side, and RRQ collapsing in a screaming heap! Silfan tries to finish the job, and there's the annihilation! Straight into the spider's lair, RRQ wonder, and it falls his map pick! Do they start with a win on your feet, hands together? Wolves are far from done.
That lead was just insurmountable. Wolves were so good on the attack side, but they win the pistol in the second half as well. RRQ made a hell of a go at it, but they just could not come all the way back. Wolves looking so good again, against all odds. How do they keep doing it? This team can't help but defy expectations.
Magic seeping up out of the cobblestones here at the Anacare Arena in Toronto. We're to step away, but next, the Intu and the analyst desk are going to break down our first map.
What are you guys doing? I don't know, man. I don't even know what are they doing. Let's go! Woo! Let's go!
Then face your death, cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Hey,
Let me show you how the fuck does it. Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Mirror, mirror, wipe my eyes so I see clearer. Over here you tell your friends I think I need her. Dreaming about the girl you want, but I can't be her. Sabotage is on my mind, 'cause
Back here on the floor at Massive Toronto, we're at the Anacare Center. What a game so far, right, Toronto? As you can see, we have a sea of KJs behind me. By the way, KJ's my main.
Have you been sitting on a smart business idea and need to get it online? GoDaddy makes it fast and easy.
Towards the end, but a win is still a win.
We know the Ascent is all about the attack side and what you can do with it. I think that on the side of Wolves, it had to do a lot with the deadlock. Not only because I'm a deadlock enjoyer, but I think that we could see in this matchup the impact that it was having. And also on the other side, we were seeing a jank in, that it was a little bit jank out from the side of the defense on RRQ.
Out.
Yeah. Is that wrong in English?
No, it's right.
Okay.
It's just...
Se la bella.
Okay.
Yeah.
No se la ha pelado, pero sí.
Anyway, Mimi, what did you think?
I mean, I was super impressed with Wolves' attack side. I think the way that they use their deadlock utility is super high value. They have a lot of set plays around the net. They're like juggling their utility to contain space on the attack, but defense was a little bit troubling there.
Yeah, let's talk about and look at some of the utility we saw from that double Senti comp in our HyperX reflex moment of the day. Why you, part of that dynamic duo, bringing so much impact?
Yeah, and when we look at this play, this is the perfect example. We're speaking about a bonus that is going to mean also the chance for Wolves to snowball in this first half. YU gets this amazing 4K, but it wouldn't have been possible without that wall that we're seeing, without the grab net and the camera combo. Look at this beautiful combo, just to set up such an easy kill for them.
And remember, this is the new deadlock where that net is the refreshable piece of utility, so you can have that online multiple times throughout the round. Wolves is a really slow team. You saw it on this map, how much they are defaulting on the attack side before ever committing to a hit. So it means that they can afford to use that net early to take something like B main control and then reset, have it again for that execute. And I felt like they were getting a lot of value out of the refresh and the initial time they got to use that piece of utility.
They did, but on the defense, it was just something about RRQ, you know, Cushy as well.
Oh, yeah,
if you look at the scoreboard, how on earth did they manage to not actually make that comeback?
Yeah, it's so surprising to see Jenkin not putting out outrageous numbers. And if we take a look at the side of Wolves, everything's pretty evened out. I feel like everybody in this team has their moments of finding a lot of impact. Like Leicester was not having the best first half in the kill department.
Still stood up.
It doesn't matter because it pisses me off because it's like, yes, he might have not gotten the kill, but without everything else that he did in the round, you wouldn't have been able to even got onto side or get the spike down.
Very true. For Junkin, he's a guy who plays alone a lot. He doesn't have like constant double initiator support in the way some other duelists in this tournament do. Maybe like someone like Roger would be an example. He's oftentimes on this map like alone in mid, walking up in the mid round. And I think Wolves did a great job of avoiding him when he was on those walks and really focusing on just pounding the extremities and running over those side anchors, isolating them with the double senti.
I've already spoken about this. Sufai BB, my favorite player in this tournament. If he's not your favorite player, you're wrong. What are you doing? Open your eyes, because Mimi, he just does things like this, and the vibes he brings afterwards as well is so infectious.
I loved his energy on the stage. I mean, half of Wolves was standing up after winning a lot of these rounds, but he has such an infectious presence there. Just looking at him, what are you doing? Yelling. He's definitely the person who's bringing the vibes.
Aura, Mimi. The word that you're looking for is aura. Every single time that he stands up, he always says the right thing, not only to his teammates, but also to the opposing team. I think that there was a moment also with, we saw RRQ being a little bit more aggressive on the defense, trying to break the timings a little bit, something that you think you can take advantage of a team that is not as experienced. But they actually, Wolves learned onto those mistakes so quickly, and Sufai has to be one of the key parts for that.
We will be heading to RRQ's map pick next, so let's hear what Coach Ewok had to say ahead of map 2.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here with Coach Ewok from RRQ as we get ready for this second map here. Now, the trend in playoffs has been that the 1 seeds have been struggling, and with this slow start, I'm sure this is not what you wanted as well. How do you guys look to avoid this as you get ready for map 2?
Well, there's been a lot of 1 seeds also in the league that we're all losing as well, and we were the only one that broke that curse, so we're looking to do that here as well.
Looking to break your curse. How do you guys do that, and what's the player that you're looking to really lean on in this situation to bring you guys to map 3?
I think we just overall, we started slow. Of course, we lost double pistol, we lost bonus, so we just need we're a little bit more warmed up now.
Yep.
We usually lose map 1, so this is just part of the story for us.
All right, it's all part of the plan, he says. All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for your time. Back to you guys at the desk.
They're going to have to bring something here, especially with those pistols as well on Icebox, because if they don't, they're also going to be dropping down into the lowers like the other #1 seeds we've seen so far.
A lot of the time that we lost map 1, it was the warm-up, East kind of cope, but I almost believe it with RRQ. They really got into the game in that second half. Key players like Jemkin were coming online, and he's absolutely right that back in Pacific, they played a lot of long series, especially in that playoff run to qualify to Toronto.
Yeah, and one thing that I like about this ice going on Ascend, and I want them to have the autonomy to choose the fate of the rounds.
But the question is, what comp are they going to be playing?
Yeah.
They were a Teo team when they showed this before. This is another map that has a lot of variety.
Can
in
make
what
the same
you can
argument
play.
for Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true too. We haven't seen them here at this event on this map, so it's a lot of question marks all over.
I'm getting ahead of myself because we do have a second match coming up, but my goodness, nobody plays Sage here. I just want to see the Sage.
Oh
Why
my
does
God.
nobody like
If
Sage?
we get Icebox, you're going to be treated. I don't know if we will see it. I pray that we will in the second series, and we get some Sage, but maybe, Yinsu, maybe we'll see it now.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, I don't think we will, but as we take a look at the live agent select here, we have instant lock-ins from both sides.
So RRQ play the old kind of comp there, but not that KO. It's the Omen look instead with the double control. I really like this choice. I think Omen's biggest strength is being able to disrupt space in mid on the attacking side, throw down smokes, teleport top 2, and really make life difficult for Lysor as that Killjoy player.
What I like about it is actually the playing also as a second layer to that duelist. No matter if it is on the attack or on the defense, it gives you another layer of depth that I actually favor as well.
Watch on their A execs as well. If they're putting their smoke on pipes, that does a lot to pull a lot of attention, bait out utility. There's some great ideas with this Omen.
Let's find out. This one makes it to a map 3. Send it back to your casters, Uber and Wyatt.
Now, on many levels, I agree with Mimi's sentiment about the whole storyline of RRQ losing the first map and all their series of being cope. And it is true. There was a lot of fracture in the pool, though, during the run through Pacific for RRQ, and they often had to run into that, or Jenkins Haven, for example. This is a different one. They just picked their first map, or they had their best map picked against them, they lost it. Now it's on Icebox, so they need to recover. So talk about the double controller style here for RRQ. They'd lack that second initiator with this setup. It will leave them a little flashlight, potentially, and also no access to the wingman.
Those extra scopes are great when you're playing for retakes or when your Viper wall is down, allowing you to still obscure some of those dangerous angles. Speaking of dangerous wolves.
Alright, let me get through to Lysor. Double down. Ah, yes. Good old classic clash of forces at the start of the pistol. Silfat is fortunately not able to draw a bead on Xfero. So RRQ, the party comes to them.
Monyet nullifying all of that aggression. 3-piece multi-kill. Starting off hot here. Had some good moments, some rough moments on map 1. Was certainly playing aggressive though. You can't take that away from him.
I mean, talking about a redemption arc from Monyet, he was the scapegoat after that struggle for PRX in Madrid. He had to find his own way, forge his own path after his tenure with that team, and he's found himself right home here on RRQ.
And it's really taken a long time for RRQ to find their own way, just slowly shifting pieces in their roster as 2024 went on, and then Crazy Guy really being the final piece of the puzzle for them that has taken them to this next level that they could never reach in the past. Jemkin going to get another first kill to open up this anti-eco. That is his specialty, as the rest of the team slowly make their way back. Yellow and...
Wow, there might have been 2 headshots there. Wyatt?
Yeah, they were basically lined up. Okay,
down B.
Trade that out, but that does just remove a ghost, so ultimately, doesn't matter.
Man, we really want to fight these first couple rounds. Always sticking a player right up towards RRQ. Oh yeah, he's 5-1. Stunning stuff. Jemkin. That first kill he opens up, continues that trend.
Wait, that's pretty
That is
sick.
Absolutely raw.
Listen, Monyet is getting pretty close early to having a Viper's pick for one of these post plants. He is feeling good. Cannot blame him. Right, RRQ, what do you have on this bonus that basically feels like a full buy? They have 3 Vandals. Revealing area. Just your standard recon to get that close info towards the orb side. Patiently waits out any potential aggression, and we'll see how far Juicy wants to take this.
They've done their homework. Jemkin, pen in hand, showing that it will be mightier than the Vandal in this case. Juicy stripped down to a bare 57 points of health. He's out of there.
On the retreat with YU. Away from Wolves, and hearing that 2-man retreat, RRQ feel very content to just take the space for free lightning fast trade from Monyet.
The lack of omen here for the defenders means they can't just throw that one way up a green again and slow this down. They lack that level of stall utility that RRQ has access to. Sarah gets the drop.
Ready for that. Push all the way through. We are going to get into a 3 versus 3 post plant. A lot of damage done to a couple of these RRQ players, however, and that's going to keep them at bay. They're going to want to rotate off. Oh, wow. Lysor not able to get fully on that, and the cloud goes up so they can cross with some safety. The breaking of that turret is certainly going to give things away.
Monyet had a chance to get ahead of that timing, but it could have been awkward. He would have been on his own.
That's a full commitment from Lysa, a very experienced player on this team. Time is dwindling so low. Pressure right now against his.
Takes a shotgun to start with, but at least he's able to find a 1-4-1. Dizzy out on the side. It's Jemkin. Vulnerable down to 47. Sees a wingman coming. Gets to see his breakfast the second time. 3 for Spring in that round. Was finally able to slow the game down enough to be in position.
They get there just in time to be able to play off of Lyser's decision to anchor in this situation with that Dizzy coming up top on that forced to break. Perfect swing out timing from Spring. We're right back to the hype from Supak. Right back to it.
For every reason, they're getting off to a decent start after dropping the pistol. Stopping that RRQ bonus is a big deal, and the fact that now we'll still have so many rifles to levy against RRQ's actual buy. But Monyet, with all of his early action, Wyatt has gotten that Viper's Pit online.
RRQ have taken some space towards this A side as they just have Monyet towards spawn. Waiting out to see if there's any potential aggression, given Wolves showed a willingness to push hard through B main on that first pistol. Juicy tried it again. Drone going to clear out these close angles near 410, allow Jemkin to slowly work into position. They want to wait this Viper's wall.
No anchor moves. More in the sight here for the defenders. They're hoping to make use of that Gecko util, the Owl Drone to get them here. And that Snakebite effectively stopped the plant for the time being.
And they are taking the time, or Wolf's going to try to flood when this Dizzy comes through as well. Why you on the duel? Jemkin first blood.
And that position, Jemkin knows he gets a straight up 1v1 if it's only an individual player at Boiler, but Spring picks him off eventually. Viper's Pit in the post plant. No Gecko to clear this either. No lockdown to force the attackers out of it. That's all because Monyet got started so early.
No real utility at all for Wolves. It's going to come down to finding a timing in this hit, trying to root Monyet out.
Juicy assumes a position and Heaven side, but doesn't quite have the chance for making the shot. Crazy guy makes it count. Monyet inside the pit there with the shorty. And that's just a situation why Wolves don't really have anything to play into that pit. It's too early for the ultimates that could actually give them an edge there.
I think they missed the timing window that they needed to take, which was flooding back in when there was some initial stall. They stopped the spike being put down. There were 3 players in that dark cover Heaven. But Wyu takes that first duel. It was a little disjointed from everyone else. I would have liked to have seen them have gotten very proactive before the spike went down, before Monyet could have even gotten that pit off. Lacking that Gecko with the wingman is really tough in that situation, trying to get back in. It's resulted with Wolves being put to very early eco here. See again, just loving to push up B main, and that has kept Monyet in the spawn. Has to be patient, wait out any further push.
You can always play off that turret contact should there be a push elsewhere from Wolves if it's up mid, for example. Slow around for RRQ. The regimentation of this team starting to shine through. No information really for Wolves about his movements on the map now. This, in theory, would draw someone like Juicy out. That's a total of the Viper ball. Juicy's starting to wonder what the purpose is. He knows. He knows RRQ are not going B. He knows it's a fake. Just push up pretty close with his pistol. Won't go well.
That went off that RRQ. No to accelerate. This is going to be a free plant because he has the spike. Going to get the Hunter's Fury to have that for the next buy round. Things are looking good for RRQ. Would be shocked if they lose too many guns in this situation at all either.
I mean, the level of meticulous that RRQ have taken into this basically full anti-eco round is pretty astounding. They know how important it is to start to build that economic base, so they respect Wolves even on a round where they have basically nothing.
Not that I don't think RRQ would be playing particularly patient and going for some late round pivots anyhow, but it definitely does feel like that pistol round 4-man push from Wolves early on instilled the fear of God in them, and now they are waiting out the potential for a play like that again. And even Wolves around 2 and 3, Juicy just kind of ran it down B main.
Okay, crazy guy. I know he's Why you, Sheriff? Wolves detain and he will perish to the blast. So Wolves really only popped up for air once so far, that first buy round. Outside of that silence, somewhat, but it will be an op now in the hands of Juicy. Big investment made. Lockdown at the ready for the defenders, and now it's time to put their heads together. Think of how they're supposed to craft a winning recipe in this round.
One enemy remaining.
Cushy will definitely be saving that Hunter's Fury there if the lockdown is used. Just the natural, easy one-for-one ult counter could come up. Wolves have also saved up enough cash where they can get an op into the hands of Juicy, go for some of those standard control plays where you have your Jet just watching over B main, the rest of the team can stack up towards A. Standard ways to control the map.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how that previous round went. RRQ very carefully went A, hoped for a push-up, had a player sat in spawn watching the B flank. It never came, but eventually they did test Juicy, who was in like a 1 versus 4 with nothing but a classic. Now that kind of round looks vastly different, of course, as they can post him up on yellow or on Gen over on the A side. That's less common now because it's so easily denied by an owl drone to push that Jet off the line. But now, far more options at the disposal of Wolves on this defense side.
I really do want to give Fade a lot of credit. Absolutely. The timeouts that he's been taking throughout this tournament. It's easy to point at the players who are going insane individually when Spring has come up with so many crucial duel wins. He's putting up sick numbers, Juicy doing the same. But we've seen countless times out of these timeouts that Wolves directly are able to win the subsequent round. Fade has done so much for this team. Let's see if it'll be the case here. Juicy is opting to actually push down mid with this op. Early drone being used by RRQ to take space towards A.
But he smoked the defender side spawn, so this definitely keeps Wolves looking in that direction, and it is going to open a window for RRQ to probe the map elsewhere.
Trying to make them think that they're going for the iconic Jing play, but it's not going to happen. And even further is Jemkin trying to sell his presence on A. There are rotates being drawn over there, and now that's why you just caught in the open. It's not even a trade. You can't find one.
Okay, that off for Juicy. Had to find some value this round, so it does. There will still be a plant, though, as Monyet just disrespects the poison orb. Doesn't quite mind if he decays down, he gets his job done.
Maybe Jemkin hoping to find a timing where he can get top 2, pick up that angle. Now just going to rotate back to B main, meet up with the rest of the pack. Juicy pressuring back yellow. Here comes that Hunter's Fury, has to take out the lockdown.
He knows where Xferu has to stand in theory. In the back corner, but Xferu is able to win it out. Unclear how he manages to pull that off. But either way, it's backbreaking for Wolves to suffer that double there. Lockdown committed by Lysor, no result for the defenders. RRQ looking dominant.
The most unique, cool thing about this RRQ team is how much they love to run fakes. And choosing to go for that pretty mental fake right out of the timeout just to throw a wrench in the works of the plans laid by Wolves, bringing the op into that round, completely disrupts their defensive setup. It's just so bizarre to have a fake Omen TP into a smoke in spawn, then Jemkin selling an A hit so they can get to B with only one defender there. It is a crazy round. It's just so cool to use that out of a timeout just as a massive disruption to whatever the intentions for Wolves were going to be.
And it's kind of conditioning as well. Because what happens next time Crazy Guy does that? Does he stick it? If he gets another ultimate on this half, I'll be very curious to see how he makes use of it. Mosh pit going to be drawn out of the defenders here on the B side. That's to stall RRQ, but they are in absolutely no hurry.
It is just this patented patience. Will Wolves walk into their waiting arms? A couple of players getting back yellow. With these sheriffs in hand, Jemkin is repped and ready.
Going for a tailwind forward, wants to take the fight, easily handles one of you. He's a little bit low. This is more than enough for RRQ so far. Once again, respecting these anti-eco situations they're forced to play into. Having to shove Juicy off the line, the Blade Storm is yet awkwardly applied. Juicy can't get value when Jemkin knows he's going to be coming from the left anyway. What's happening here, Lysor?
30 seconds left.
Effort display from RRQ. Jemkin just continuing to absolutely dominate in the first kill department. Sure, just an anti-eco, but
planted.
He has been so consistent with that throughout this attack half so far. That is what he is known for.
Honestly, RRQ also more than happy to spend ultimates in these anti-eco scenarios. They don't care. They respect Wolves' capacity on rounds like this just as much as any other, apparently. Flawless round for RRQ. The stacks are piling up.
It shouldn't have been, but the economic damage would not have mattered in the slightest anyhow, so we'll give that one a pass.
Stunning stuff, yeah.
Recon as well is just perfect for catching out the players who were having to path out of the way because of Jemkin dashing in there. No opportunity to turn and break the recon. All too easy. Wolves, again, they want to invest into this operator. Big cash being spent. Juicy not able to find impact in the game yet. Not able to make his mark. Maybe it is now that Viper will temporarily cover up the sight line. He wants to stay top killer. He has a teammate to help.
Oh, there was an opportunity there. He lingered. That dark cover operating is like cascade wood in these harbor comps, denying Juicy the ability to peek over the Viper wall.
The summon is very straightforward from RRQ. Working to B main, get the lockdown off, get the free sight, wipe the wall up. Easy plant, play for the post plant, but a couple significant initiative ultimates that Wolves will have to make a real go at this retake.
So playing for YU. Okay, Juicy's able to pick Bonyet off. Xfero's tucked here. Juicy suspects it, but he's been showing Farrell this entire time. Subspan through the walls. In fact, gives himself away, but Xfero wants a bit more of it towards the snowman direction. This time, though, Wolves finding some success in his post plant. Being on Crazy Guy now, and he's going to have to face the music. Eventually, Wolves going to come to collect. And already that defuse gets started, YU pushes on up. Good composure there for Wolves. They had to deal with the lockdown on that round. And they can recover the operator for use later.
RRQ just really wanted to fight forward and entrench themselves in the site. The problem with doing that on Icebox is you just become susceptible to so many positions. I mean, look at Lyxor seeing 2 players just walking up through orange there, and then when you're Xfero, you're awkwardly forced to take a duel with someone that could be in-spawned, and there's a guy in Snowman. It's really overwhelming. I think they wanted to try and play forward and more aggressively against the fact that there could have been those ults coming through rather than just being forced all the way back and allowing Wolves to take the space. But difficult to play either situation regardless. That being said, it's resulted in Wolves not having to use a single ult yet.
No one for Wolves is in this kitchen or slope area. Move up there for a spring. You kind of see there's something funky happening in mid.
Spring is mild. Lethal shot onto Monyet.
With a phantom.
So fast. Just as he rounded that corner.
Really just playing back into the map.
This is looking quite disastrous for RRQ. They're trying to now just slowly creep into this A site. Spring is hungry for more, but shot down by Jemkin. Opportunity to get in, but going to be difficult to plant, perhaps. These mollies going to keep them at bay. Wolves are not fully flying it. They haven't rotated too quickly over. So it's not like they can flood in or really pressure off of this plant. So RRQ have a fair shot here. Again, I keep repeating myself, but it's these ultimates from Wolves. This flash should be able to clear out anyone close, but my eyes are on Xfero. He wants to be the X factor. He's working his way up mid on this flank.
Xfero's watching for it, though. I don't think Xfero has the timing yet he was hoping for. There's a trash. Then there's a player on 410. They've got down. Jemkin in the site, though. He's fighting for his life. Flies over his headshot and Kuchi on the move up, catches out YU. Now we're down to 2 players for Wolves, and they've got to make something happen. Hunter's Fury collects nothing. Tucked in Kuchi. Juicy from above descends on him. Shorty claims him. And now Jemkin doesn't have the line. He doesn't have a shot on the spike. Gets rid of Juicy, but Supat is on there. And he's able to just win it out. Time is on their side. 9 seconds. And Wolves get a crucial 3rd round.
0.09 is absolutely crazy. Coach Payne needed to...
Just a wry smile.
So yeah, slight smile, take a sip. That looked doomed for Jemkin, given he was so far away. Oh my God. That's keeping Wolves in the... But it's just not getting any easier. RRQ are so economically ahead. It's buy after buy after buy. Spring on this round is going to opt to just use that pit immediately. Control towards this A side. Standard 1 thrown down. The hope for RRQ, if they want to get through it, is going to be using Cushy's drone. It's not going to be expended. And then you have Juicy controlling B main with the AWP. This is a good setup for Wolves right now. I like what they're doing in this early round.
The defense side, KJ turret location is really interesting. Watching out towards top mid, but Lysor is exploring that himself.
I mean, mid is really the only
good option
map where Wolves have a bit of anxiety, and that's why they have rotated a couple players. You do have Matt. Oh my God, dangerous. Swings into Jemkin, never want to do that.
He has to take that risk because there's no turret to take contact of Tube, so you can't swing off that.
Right here. He does actually send out the drone to re-clear Tube, doesn't spot anyone, doesn't see anyone going under Tube. Juicy will now have an opportunity to open this round up. Drone is not going to spot him.
It's dangerous, very dangerous for Juicy. He's in blinds them, and he's just having to get out somehow. Low is YU, Monyan runs into him. Here's a burst of pace from RRQ and Juicy. Still is having to lock it down, and Jemkin taken out of the game. Juicy knows he's going to get pushed around the corner, and Cushy does finally fell him. RRQ have found the opening they need, and Monyan has a timing from upper. It's on Lightsaw. Passively watching mid for much of the round. He's got a sixth sense about that mid push, but the timing doesn't favor him. He still wins it. 16 points of health. And Lightsaw is in a 1 versus 1 against Cushy.
That is a brutal whiff. Does Cushy just want to swing out? Does he want to take a timing right now?
Lightsaw sees him coming. And unfortunately, he's not fast enough to stop him. 7 rounds here for RRQ. That one, though, very hard fought.
Got more dangerous than it should have ever been. Shots from Juicy were phenomenal. And how the hell did he get out when he was getting sprayed on that first escape attempt? That was a reality. Nice. So crazy. Wolves put back onto the eco. They've been losing so many players, even in the rounds that they've been winning. They just can't buy.
This is shaping up to be a heck of a half from RRQ. Shaky map 1, but your Pacific #1 seed now brimming with confidence on Icebox.
Hey, with that being said, it's not like we haven't seen a team get off to a big lead on Icebox attack, the side swap, and the team that gets onto attack go just as crazy. You can just run over these sites.
Spike planted.
Straightforward early plant. Cushy not bothered by the snake bites. Juicy has to get off that line basically instantly. Away with Sharon shot at him. He says, right, time for me to go to work. I have the sickle. Well, crops it up, about to ring. Naturally on for the aces. Wolves do not want to feed another Blade Storm over to Jemkin. So they wait. Jemkin starts to close in, and they know. Juicy says, no ways beyond running at your teammate. Flawless though for RRQ against this anti-eco. Once again, respecting it and playing with a good burst of pace.
Taking a little note out of their Pacific Brethren's playbook with Karen and Texture. Just going to steal that ace away during Jemkin's debut. Hate to see that. Another first kill though. Just to add up to what is already a remarkable tally. Lysor won't be too upset about dying there, though. That's going to get him the lockdown for this final round. Wolves' final opportunity to get back on the board. Juicy, another operator investment.
Has enough to get full armor as well, so why not?
RRQ taking a lot of early space on A on account of that drone being used, hoping that the shock darts will clear out some of the mollies that have really been keeping RRQ at bay while executing. And those shock darts do just that.
There's enough time for Xpero to plant here and walk away with that lockdown intact. That's going to be destroyed. Pushes up, gets rid of it. Viper spin now going to be thrown out. This is going to deny Boiler away for the defenders for the time being.
The second lockdown as well is going to waste so much time for Wolves. You can see the benefit of having the Omen there. The fact that you could cover up that choke on screens. Monia could run forward, deal with that. But now I'm looking at the double flank from Wolves. What is this teleport from Crazy Guy, man?
The deck stacked against Wolves. Teams are able to find a way in. YU's found second. Cushy can't quite hold the line. It's going to be Spring who finds the trade. Now on the side of the Blade Storm, it's Juicy. He's looking for more, and I can't believe it. Deck might have been stacked against them, but Wolves draw a Joker. And that's all they need. 4 rounds on this defense side, not too shabby as RRQ has such an early lead.
They go for some mental plays in that post plant, which were dealt with handily by Wolves. Getting 4 on the board, hey, that's enough to win on the side swap for Icebox attack. Get that pistol, get rolling from there. They can make a serious go at it.
RRQ showing a little bit of their prowess though, going ahead 8-4 rounds of this first half of Icebox. Stick around, much more to come for this map, and hopefully series.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in. Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Walking past, get blinded by your headlights. Tunnel vision, losing feeling here in paradise. I don't know if I can take it, can we slow it down? And telling me to stay low key and we'll be sweet. Got me feeling like I'm sitting in your backseat. I don't know, but I'm fine being here for now. I know we'll be fine, yeah. You stay here in my mind, yeah. Talk me out of this crisis. Talk me out of this crisis. I found in your sights again. Don't know if I want this to end. Talk me out of this crisis. Talk me out of this crisis. I found myself in.
15 kills, 8 deaths, 4 of those first kills for Jemkin. He has answered the call as the star player for RRQ, and he's been leading his team from the front on this Icebox map. It's a great start for RRQ. Of course, they really get the opening to the half that they were looking for, converting that pistol before the bonus goes against them. Let's talk Coinbase Econ report now. Post Jemkin has an astounding 91.5. He is absolutely converting those credits into damage round after round.
Xpharaoh as well, looking good, just hasn't had too many deaths on yet. Having a great half on the Viper. He was finding the really high impact kills. Obviously some struggles over on the side of Wolves. Juicy investing in that operator a lot, and in contrast to Ascent, where Sufao was fragging hard, clutching, yet to make his name here on Icebox, but perhaps if Wolves can rally back on attack, that's where he's going to do it. We've seen this map be so attacker-sided favored at times. Wolves are hoping that's going to be the case for them right now, that they can continue the dream run that they're on. The biggest underdog we've had in this tournament were written off before it even began. And against all odds have made it to the playoffs and are looking like the best team China sent. Not a single soul expected.
And unlike China's #1 seed, it does feel like RRQ is acclimated much more quickly to these conditions than that Shilai Gaming roster.
Certainly. I was so concerned about that when we were getting into that second half of Ascent. When they lost that pistol round in the second half, it felt like we were going to get a repeat of yesterday. That maybe the nerves were there, they weren't ready for the stage, go off to a slow start.
All right, a brief monitor issue has now been rectified. We are moments away from jumping into pistol in the second half. RRQ lead Wolves 8 rounds to 4. Let's get it started.
Down just a bit to collect that orb on the A side. It's a patient Wolves working forward off this wall. Drone to clear out everything close. Have to be concerned that Jemkin could be tucked somewhere. Spotted out on pipes. Wolves, they want to accelerate, but there are 3 players from RRQ, and they're looking intentional with anchoring. They want to fight.
As he got cleared here, Juicy though from Dice. Good little headshot to get him opened up. Crazy guy found 2. It doesn't matter, Wolves have the numbers to overwhelm RRQ with some great openers. Should be in a position now to stick the landing. It's on Monyet.
Just look at the death markers there. Everyone from RRQ wanted to flood in, but Wolves winning out the duels.
They never got a chance to really flood adequately off that rafter position. The pace from Wolves had them really still on the starter's mark when they had to fight.
The second that they got that info with the drone on 2 players, one bottom 410 and then Jemkin was pipes. I'm feeling like, hey, in this moment, positions are going to be scrambled. They're going to be trying to rotate around, get backside. We're going to get in there, just push right together. Everybody swing right together. Win out the duels.
This is unbelievably boosty coded. I'm actually here for every second of it.
Little movement, but a lot of standing. I like it. All right, Wolves. Is anyone just going towards A again early? Cushy is happy to keep getting this orb for free.
Lysor takes a Guardian this time around. And you're right, Sufat was definitely a standout player for Wolves on that Ascent game. Somewhat quieter on Wolves' defense side, but got involved in the action in that pistol. Juicy really led the charge. He's got a Vandal. And up they come, inching over towards Pipes. Cushy shows a bit of leg, takes damage for it. They've got to know that Jemkin is here. They're checking for it, and the J's gone.
I mean, they are basically running the exact same setup as the pistol round there, except it was a little more active from Cushy, hoping to bait for Jemkin to get a kill at some point, but it's not going to come. Wolves going to slow down the pace. They have not been a team to rush things on these attack rounds.
Much more structured than we expected them to be coming in this tournament, especially as that online. Sparrow's got snuck around on a timing. He's had to reveal himself there to take Lysor out of the game. Sufat is low. Handles the Killjoy.
Oh, and Juicy. Nice final shot. Was worried about Sufat for a second there. Could have gotten picked off. Perhaps even that gun recovered. A little bit of damage done, but ultimately not too significant. Wolves going to be able to bring in the important rifles here.
They're just checking for that spot.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they have to, obviously. They caught Jemkin there before, just...
There's a dark cover that's, getting there, but it's a little bit too early for that to bloom properly. So it's a 2-round game, Wolves. With that pistol. Now the bonus, though. Some investment being made. It's an outlaw and a bit of an odd round for it, Wyatt.
I want to see how RRQ are going to opt to play with this Jemkin Cushy duo on A this time. It begins, as it has in the prior two, free orb being acquired for the Sova. Wolves would love for Juicy to find an opening pick. Just play slow around him.
It's got to be a headshot, though.
Why you spotted out. A little bit of damage.
He got softened up for that first engagement, so Juicy does get the one shot on him.
Up here, what's the move? Spring, Lysor working mid. They activate that alarm bot and then they just peel back. A minute on the clock. Wolves posted up outside of A, waiting for that dark cover to drop. Crazy Guy is going to be playing with a lot of one-ways, giving his team something to work off of.
Just flattened by Dizzy. Couldn't see a damn thing. Juicy's actually opted to take up the Guardian here. They'll be on this A side. Look how meticulous they are. Also, the push-up too might be illuminating for Lysor.
30 seconds left.
Just this team taking their time. RRQ want to get in there, letting the wingman get the spike down. Lysor just chilling on the flank, doesn't even need to be for free.
The turret's not there to see him out. There was no way Crazy Guy was going to be ready for that walk up mid. Is that do we count that as an A split? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. But I do like the round from Wolves.
What a bonus.
I mean, it starts off with this outlaw. You called it. Jemkin just takes a little bit of damage from YU, so he's one-shotable. After that, you have Spring and Lysor in mid. They trip that Killjoy utility, break it. Lysor bides his time. Spring goes back to the pack. Hit in with a 4-man swing into that A side. Lysor comes late. Nice little round that Wolves have played to convert this bonus. On the cusp of tying the game up. RRQ and Jemkin pushing a bit deeper than on those prior rounds up in Nest.
The plot armor on Wolves is pretty absurd. That play off the bonus working so beautifully. Coffers overflowing. Patient here. This approach is Aldrone likely to reveal some positioning. Cushy's down. Jemkin wants to stick around. It ends up being to his detriment also. Comfortably converts, and now RRQ really don't have much to work with. They are run ragged on this A side. It's just Crazy Guy. Best he can hope for here is some kind of odd timing. Juicy is not going to give him an inch, baby.
This one is as good as done. Get another plant for that wingman. Why you're getting very close to the Thrash. Obviously, it's just easy to cycle that ultimate for the Gecko over and over. That's one of the major benefits of running the agent, that we don't see a whole lot of Gecko being played like we used to last year.
Toxin screen down.
Still effective enough on Icebox, one of the better initiators you can play for this map. Monya recovers that rifle, just going to save. RRQ having trouble so far with this slow style that Wolves love to play. It's even funny to hear them talking about wanting to increase the pace in some of these games in their press conferences. When it comes to the attack sides, they are often as patient as it gets.
And there you have it. Toronto, we have an even game. How are you feeling? That's what I like to hear. Wolves slow and steady, clawing these rounds back. Build up the pistol win. Now potentially threatening to drive this game away from RRQ. This would be a timely moment to call that timeout, get Coach Ewok in the ears of the Pacific #1 seed.
Wolves are just trying to do what RRQ couldn't on that first map. Second half comeback, but actually close things out. The difference may just come from the fact that RRQ at least lost the pistol, and so it's made things a little bit easier for Wolves to just get this to 8-8. Their economy is absolutely out of control.
And unfortunately for RRQ, Jemkin has not been able to score a kill on this half yet.
Now, he's been trying to play aggro, but there hasn't really been utility behind him. It's just trying to tuck in corners, take a duel, dash away. There was that pretty unlucky round where he ran into the Outlaw after taking damage from YU, but then also just playing the tuck angle on pipes a couple times. Maybe at some point they can try to sync something up for him. But that being said, with his comp, they don't really have the flashes to play around either. You don't have that Dizzy to swing off of. You don't have a KO where you can throw a deep pop flash. Those are just not available to him. And they also don't have the economy to get an AWP in his hands, which is pretty unfortunate. I feel like at some point they're going to need to lean into that. It can't be now, however.
Something brewing though, over on the B side of the map. This is going to be checked for, and very quickly Dizzy is pacified. Wolves realize just how far up RRQ were pushed. But for how long can they afford to maintain that advanced footing on the defense side? Because now Wolves will go elsewhere. They will sniff out
Placing swarm grenade.
a route to the plant.
Lyso had thrown a deep alarm bot into B main, but it does get broken, as does this turret. So
means Cushy now can no longer get that free information in mid.
Yeah, they want to be able to at least feign that they can pressure towards mid. Jemkin doing what he's been doing on these prior rounds.
Finally on the board in the second half, and as per usual, a first kill. He was 4-0 in the first half of Icebox.
That was a rapid trade, though, as this drone gets a lot of info deep in the A site. Intentions, of course, to just draw the attention of RRQ onto A, while the rest of the team just slowly, silently contact through main. One-way cloud going to drop.
They're almost guaranteed a plant here.
Yeah, now that the
30
wall
seconds left.
goes up, Crazy Guy has no opportunity to try to take an engagement from Snowman, but does eventually have to drop. 20 seconds now.
Crazy Guy,
Wants to swing out, but RRQ, they're just so spread across the map that it doesn't give anyone an opportunity to get too active. They have to go for a full retake. Cushy has the Hunter Sphere. That's the best tool that they've got available right now.
Going to help them clear yellow, potentially. They're already pinging over in that direction. Seen on the side, that's troublesome for Monya. There it is. Okay, so Spring is picked up, and that also turns off the Viper Wall for later. Juicy now knows he's going to get multi-swung on this corner. It's getting a little bit close. Oh no! It's a disaster for RRQ! And Cushy now just steps up to the side and knows he's virtually cooked here. Gets it to half, has to fight for his life. One more tap and he'll have it. Sufat doesn't give him the full kit and caboodle though. He won't give him an inch! Ice cold is Sufat! And he knows he's just delivered a back-breaking round win for Wolves.
He absolutely worked him. Just swinging out with the gun barrel is devious. fair play to Cushy. He made a serious go at it. Wolves played that well, dividing themselves. Juicy running away, being the first to rush him. That is so sick.
Wolves are in the lead. What a massive round. RRQ, that was a buy-in investment from them. Even the Hunter's Fury committed to the round. And now, Wolves with Viper's Pit and Thrash and Bladestorm. And a lead. Heading to round 18.
Jemkin has picked up that hero Vandal. Intentions of fighting all of RRQ here. They swing out together, but the weapons are good enough to shut down by Wolves.
Decent enough, I suppose, for a buy of this nature. Monyet giving him hell. Attacks Pharaoh with only a Sheriff. And blinking or missing. Wolves charging to the lead. It's 10-8.
RRQ just lacking the utility required for some of these aggro plays. It's just coming down to having to straight up fight together, and they're at such a disadvantage there with just the one rifle. Player with a Sheriff, it's just not enough. Into this next round, I wanted to see this up at some point. Finally, the economy has gotten to a place where RRQ can actually purchase it, give it to Jemkin. This is going to have to be the crux of their success. To win a couple rounds in a row, get back in this half that has fallen completely out of their grasp. Try to win their map pick to take us to Lotus.
Wolves really trying to check every single corner here. They're definitely conditioned to Jemkin playing up close in Nest, and a player playing low from pipes.
That is going to force him down to the low ground.
This is it.
They just, again, want to slow things down, take this space towards A, then work into the exec. Drone does spot out Sufat. Good info to see the Sova there, and that's actually going to call a rotate from B. Look at Mondet. He's trying to get to A right now. The Execute's coming through. Dizzy over the top.
Jemkin forced back finally off that line, has to drop low. Thrash could be a big problem for the Jet too.
I'd say Execute's coming through. Wolves, they're content to just keep playing it slow. Wait for this Thrash. Here we go. Now it's on.
YU sees the Omen TP away, spots two players in. Rafter knows that's probably enough to be going on with. It's Juicy into Nest. Crazy Guy doesn't have a chance to get eyes on him now. Juicy appears out of nowhere in the low ground. And Jemkin was forced off the side with his op. Desperately trying to get this weapon in his hands. And he's put it to use against Spring, but he remains on the outside looking in. And now Juicy is cutting a bloody swap through all of RRQ, such that Monyet at 5 health. He's got no business even trying to win the round for his team. RRQ are going to drop a third consecutive round.
Too scared to even attempt to go save that op with the low HP. Playing it safe, getting out with the rifle only. Jemkin gets one, but it's too little too late when he does.
At this rate, Wolves are going to buy almost for the rest of the game.
No, the bank is absolutely outrageous for them. Spring going to have a Viper's Pit into this next round. You have Lysol one away from getting the lockdown. Juicy at some point, pretty low on the scoreboard for Wolves, and now the most kills in the server at 19. He has been outrageous, and his story is just incredible. I mean, ascending years ago with Crazy Guy on his team, but being unable to play due to not being eligible with his age, forced to wait until this year, can't get a team to join in Pacific, has to join Wolves, the team that had zero expectations, were written off by the community coming into this, and just can't stop winning. The confidence is flowing. Like Sufat said, he has no fear of being eliminated. They've defied their own expectations already, and they just want to see how far they can take it. It's unbelievable that they've gotten to this point.
And Wolves, they want to keep that underdog moniker for as long as humanly possible. But after a game like this, I don't know how easy that's going to be for them to maintain. They are toppling some incredible teams, but I've got to say RRQ would be by far the biggest, most high-profile notch in their belt ever. And they pick Ascent against them. The audacity to choose RRQ's best map to start the series, and they take them to task. They're doing the same now on Icebox. Jemkin might not get it off back in his hands. He's saving this round for perhaps exactly that reason.
RRQ are just thrust into another tragic by Monyet with the hero rifle that he saved from that last round. Perhaps here, if they can get a cheeky kill, there will be an opportunity to commit the ultimates that they have. Cushy is getting close to that Hunter's Fury as well, just one orb away now. Jemkin is pushed up. He wants to take another first in.